Hey guys, I'm 𝗟𝗏 and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be showing you guys my manga collection, specifically my manga collection that I have here at school. I have a couple extra books back at home, but here at university I have just these ones. Let's get down to it. So first up I'm going to talk to you guys. Ma'am. Come to mama. Come to mama. Oh, hello. So many kisses. So many kisses. First, I'm going to talk to you guys about Ma, which is 𝗟𝗏 Awakens Romance, and it is by Nobuyuki Anzai. This is a complete series. I started this series years ago. My brother actually got into it, and it was also an anime at the time. I mentioned it multiple times that we used to have pretty much all the way up to like 15, and then my brother gave them away to our cousin and so and so and so. So I have very random amounts of them. So I have book 1, book 4, book 5, book 8, book 9, and book 11. I just realized on the back of these, so these are all bought at Borders, and this one cost $19 because Australia. So 𝗟𝗏 Awakens Romance follows a 14-year-old boy named Ginta, and Ginta has had this same dream over and over again about this princess that he dreams of rescuing. And it kind of coincides with his dad, who went missing years ago but was this huge fantasy buff and believed in this other world called Ma. And then one day this mysterious figure appears. Ginta suddenly wakes up in another world, and when he lands in this new world he's suddenly stronger, more agile, he doesn't have to wear his glasses, and in this world he kind of sets off on this quest. He finds this magical arm called 𝗟𝗏, who is like this legendary arm, and arms are these magical items that, you know, have powers and stuff. It's really cool. It's kind of hard to explain. But you follow Ginta, and then he kind of picks up friends along the way, and he's battling against these other people called the Chess. Now I'm going to show you guys my #1 manga love ever since I was a little girl. Oh my god, the last one was $25. That is ridiculous. So the complete series is only 7 books, and that is Mermaid Melody Pichi Pitch. And this is by Pink Hanamori. Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, and Volume 7. So Mermaid Melody, well, now that I'm older, now and I think about it, it has a lot of Sailor Moon vibes. So we follow Lucia, who is a mermaid, and not just any mermaid, but a mermaid princess. And she's on a mission to save the 7 seas from a new force of evil. And she does this with the help of the other 7 mermaid princesses. They fight evil by, this sounds so weird, but they do this by transforming into singers who can use their voice to kind of defeat these evils. And as a young girl, that was pretty much the coolest thing in the entire world. Next up is another complete collection, which is also 7 books, and that is Mamotte Lollipop. This is by Michio Kakuta. So we have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4, Volume 5, Volume 6, Volume 7. This was also turned into an anime at one point, but they didn't follow, like they stopped. They didn't do all the, like they didn't cover all the books, which was really depressing because they never actually went after like the whole love interest, which was like, it's one of my favorite love interests ever. Like this love story is one of my favorites. Anyway, Mamotte Lollipop follows a girl named Nina. Nina is just your ordinary girl until one day she's at a cafe with her friends and she eats this little pink candy, but it's not candy. Instead, what happens is that in the wizarding world, contestants are set up in pairs and they are set into the human world to locate this pearl and get it, and then they have to keep a hold of this pearl for a year. Whoever has the pearl at the end of the year when the tournament is over, they get to become like full-class wizards. However, Nina eats the pearl, and then we have a problem because the pearl ain't coming out of her. 2 main wizards that we follow, Zero and 𝗟𝗏, now have to protect Nina for an entire year, and oh my god, one of my favorite love stories ever. Next up we have one of my favorite like short series, and I say short because it's only 4 books. Zodiac PI by Natsumi Ando. I love Natsumi Ando. Her work is one of my favorites, and Zodiac PI is so freaking amazing. We have Volume 1, Volume 2, Volume 3, Volume 4. In Zodiac PI we follow Lily, who His mother has gone missing, so she has taken over her mother's tarot card shop. Lily has inherited the ability to call on the Zodiacs, and in the first book, one of Lily's classmates is murdered, and so Lily uses her Zodiac skills to try and track down the killer with the help of her friend Horimiya, and then from here and the rest of the book, you kind of follow Lily as she kind of continues on in like secretly helping along with police investigations, and it's really cool. Next up, I have 3 standalones. They're actually part of a series, but I don't have the entire series, just the first one in each of these 3 series. The first one is Sakura Hime by Arina Tanemura. Arina Tanemura is one of the most amazing mangakas out there. So Sakura Hime is about a young princess who is engaged to a prince, and on the night she decides to run away because she don't want to do that. And when she runs away, she looks at the full moon, which she's told never to do, and when she does so, a man-eating demon comes down and attacks her. She then finds out that she is the granddaughter of some ancient princess who has the power to destroy demons. Next up, we have time stranger Kyoko. My good friend Tina, back in Australia when I was a kid, lent me this book to read, and I never gave it back. Anyway, so this follows a girl named Kyoko who is the princess of Earth. However, her identity is hidden because technically her twin sister is the heir to the throne. However, her twin sister is currently in a coma. And so the king has told Kyoko that she can continue to live as a commoner and not take on the duties of being a princess if she can find a way to revive her sister from her coma. And then last but not least, we have Phantom Thief Jeanne, and oh my god, look at this one! So Phantom Thief Jeanne is about a girl who is secretly the Phantom Thief Genie who goes out and steals paintings in which demons reside in, and she steals them to, like, you know, relieve the demon inside of it. However, recently a new Phantom Thief Sinbad, has come to the scene, and he's kind of challenging her and taking away the demons that she's killing. Next up is my other favorite short manga series, and that is Cactus Secret by Nana Haruta. So we have volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, and volume 4. And this is just like a really cute shoujo manga. It's about a girl named Miku who has a long time crush on her best friend who doesn't realize that she likes him. It's about her trying to show her feelings to her crush, and it goes on for 4 volumes, and it's just super cute. Next up, we have a book series which I hauled in my last reading vlog, and that is Body. I'm not going to show you all 10 volumes that I have because I'm too lazy to do that, but Body is about a girl named Ryoko, and she has a crush on this cute quiet guy in her class that everyone thinks is really nerdy, and when she's out one night she sees him and he looks completely different, and it turns out that he is actually a host, and she has to now keep his secret. Next, I have a very beloved series that a lot of people probably have heard of, and that is Dengeki Daisy, volume 1, volume 2, volume 3, volume 4, and volume 5. We follow Teru, whose brother passed away a few years ago. She finds solace in texting this person in her phone who is only revealed by the name of Daisy. And Daisy is who she confides in and is pretty much her best friend, but she has no idea who Daisy actually is. Throughout this, it's kind of the whole idea of who actually is Daisy, who is this person who is always there for her. Next, we have Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, volumes 1 and volume 2. So Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, it's a bit of a controversial series. Some people like it, some people hate it. Some people just don't like it because the dude character has a weird obsession with butts. Anyway, so this was a story of a girl named Hinata, and what happens is one day at her school, there's a famous actor who is there filming, and she becomes friends with him and then ends up secretly dating him. That's the story. A young high school girl who secretly dates an actor. Next up, we have volumes 1 through 3 of Love and Lies. I've talked about this before in my December TBR, so. Next up, I have volume 1 through 7 of Waiting for Spring. If you have watched my channel at all, you will know that I love Waiting for Spring. It is my current favorite series of the year for manga, and I am in love with it, and no one can tell me otherwise. And if you're gonna pick up any of the mangas that I mentioned in this video, pick up Waiting for Spring. So we follow a girl named Mitsuki who doesn't really have any friends, who's really shy, she doesn't really know how to make friends, and then one day the 4 most popular guys in her school who are on the basketball team end up at the cafe that she works for, and from there she kind of creates a friendship with them, kind of learns some love, and it's just so adorable, and oh my god, I love it so much. Next up, we have Horimiya, and I feel like this was a lot more hype probably in the beginning of the year. I have read the entirety of Horimiya, but I read it all online, so I'm now in the process of slowly collecting it in physical copies. However, this is one of the more expensive mangas out there. It is like $13 and it's really hard to find it for any cheaper, so it is some of the most gorgeous and unique artwork. I love it. So we follow Hori, who is one of the most popular girls at school. She's known for being super attractive. There's another guy in her class named Miyamura, who is known as kind of just being a huge loser. However, one day Hori opens her door to see Miyamura there, and he does not look like he does at school. He is covered in piercings, and it turns out that he's a lot more interesting than she'd ever given him credit. I love it when my camera dies. Anyway, next up I have Anonymous Noise, Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. We follow Nino, who when she was younger loses her best friend Momo because he moves away. And afterwards she befriends a guy named Yuzu, who is a music composer, and she learns to sing with him again, and then he moves away. And both of these boys, before they moved away, said they would find her again one day so they could all sing together. So now Nino is in high school and she is reunited with Yuzu and reunited with Momo once again. This is a series where, you know, you're actually rooting for both love interests, and the love triangle isn't a bad one in my opinion. I actually really enjoy the love triangle in this. Next up, we have one of the cutest mangas I think I will ever come across, and that is Honey So Sweet. We have Volume 1, Volume 2, and Volume 3. And this is about a girl called Nao, who is confessed to by the frightening tiger, who has a scowl on his face, and everyone in school is afraid of him and thinks that he's really dangerous. However, he confesses to Nao, and she is so afraid of him that she says yes. However, she comes to realize that Tiger is actually not as frightening as people make him out to be. So it's a super duper cute love story. Next up, I have a manga that I have honestly not read in so long, and that is Monkey High. I have Volume 1 and Volume 2. It's about a girl named Haruna who just moves to a new school that she refers to as a monkey mountain because all the students are really crazy and they get in fights and it's just a wild time. And then next up we have Mixed Vegetables, which is such a unique manga that I've read recently. I read it over the summer. I read volumes 1 through 6. I actually really enjoyed the concept of this one. It's about a girl named Hanayu who is the daughter of a world-renowned pastry chef, but she desires to be a sushi chef. But she is too afraid to tell her dad that she does not want to follow in his footsteps and take over the bakery. So there's a guy in her class named Hayato. She goes to a chef school, and he is the son of a sushi chef, but he actually wants to be a pastry chef. And so she concocts a plan to get him to be her boyfriend and then eventually marry him so she can be in the family, but things start to get really messed up. And honestly, the first book of this is one of the most crazy emotional wild rides I have ever been on. Just putting that out there. Next, I own Volume 1 of Kamisama Kiss. I watched the anime first and then decided to buy the manga as a way to kind of support the series. It's about a girl named Nanami who is homeless because her dad gambled everything away and then skipped town. But she comes across a man who is being harassed by a dog and saves him. This man then offers to let her stay at his shrine. However, it turns out that by accepting his offer, she has now become the local deity of this shrine and is now having to take over all these new responsibilities. This is an anime that I sincerely, totally recommend. Next up, we have a manga that is probably one that I own and I really don't like all that much, and that is SP Baby. I have talked about this, I think, in my summer wrap-up. It's about a girl named Tamaki who is jobless. She's unable to really ever keep a job, and she's kind of depressed at that because, you know, she's in her late 20s and her life just is not as great as she wants it to be. And then one day she sees a guy seemingly getting attacked and helps him. And it turns out that this guy is the vice president's son, and he then enlists her to be one of his bodyguards. The reason why I did not enjoy this is just because the character was very one-dimensional. It just wasn't really that exciting or anything like that. And the main dude, the vice president's son, had this weird infatuation with legs to the point where it's just weird. Kind of like Kiss Me at the Stroke of Midnight, where the guy has an obsession with butts. And it's just weird. It's just... Next up, I have a manga that pretty much everyone has heard of at this point. Probably, and that is Dreamin Sun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We follow a girl named Shimana, and her mother passed away when she was younger, and her dad remarried and had a new kid with this woman. And Shimana just feels like she's on the outskirts of her family. She feels like she doesn't matter, and so she runs away from home. When she does this, she bumps into a guy who offers to let her live at his place with his 2 other friends. and you know, trouble ensues from there. It's a very stereotypical one. Shimano kind of goes off on this whole love journey and it's quite crazy. I enjoy it, but I'm getting more and more frustrated with it as the series is going on, just because my ship is not sailing. And you know, when your ship doesn't sail, the world sucks. Last but not least is Sailor Moon. I'm not really going to explain what this is about, because if you don't know Sailor Moon, that's just sad. Volume 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. It was probably the first anime that I ever got into as a kid. It's just one that really never gets old. It's such a timeless manga and anime. And actually, if you guys like Sailor Moon, let me know down below in the comments who your favorite sailor soldier is, because I'd be very curious to know. And yeah, if you guys have any of these mangas, let me know. If you guys can think of any that you think I would personally like, let me know in the comments, because I'm always looking for new mangas to start. And that's all I have to say for now. If you guys enjoyed this video, please click the like button down below. If you'd like to see more of me, please subscribe to my channel. And until next time, thanks a bunch guys. Bye!